building guitars since I was a little kid, so 6 years old, so all my life. My father actually is the one who started the company in 1951. He just loved the idea of guitar making and started a little company in his garage and moved to Carlsbad, New Mexico in the late 1951, where again he started a shop in his garage, and moved to Albuquerque in 1963, where all the sons and my father all continued the business. Well, everybody got involved, and everything that we do is custom built. We start from scratch, and here's some of the products here that you see. Some of our guitars, a classical guitar, the quinto guitar, a couple of quintos, two flamencos up there, and then we also get into the mandolins and the ukuleles, as you see up there with koa and spruce top and ebony, and that one up there, it's a beautiful spruce top mandolin. So we do steel strings as well, acoustic guitars. There's another custom classical guitar. That's top of the line. That's got some custom inlay, the New Mexico Zia, which in fact our guitar is the state symbol of New Mexico. And it's in the History Museum of Santa Fe. And it's got the Zias going up the fingerboard, similar to that. But this is the ever-ending swirl. And then it's got a beautiful rosette. It's got Brazilian rosewood for the back and side, which is the holy grail of all the rosewoods in the world. That's beautiful, beautiful. Comes out of Brazil. One of the very best woods in the world for making classical or acoustic guitars. And then the size is also Brazilian rosewood, and it's got European spruce. All this woods has been aging for about 60 years old. 60 years. And the inlay work here is coral, turquoise, and then the fingerboard is ebony. It's got turquoise dots on it, and then it's got a beautiful swirl here with turquoise and ebony. And then the rosette, it's a beautiful rosette made out of little tiny pieces of wood. It's called the santuario because it's a church with a crosses on it. And my father got the idea from the famous church in Chimayo. And so he started this beautiful rosette before he passed away. So it became one of our trademarks. And so let me take you into the shop so you can see the whole idea of how we make the guitars. See, we age all our woods in our own warehouse for about 10 to 15 years. Some of our woods have been aging for 40, 50, 60 years. And so here you can see on this side, this is how we start with thick board planks. And we cut them into different sections, and then we'll book match the woods. So once we cut them and slice them, you can see it like this. It's a mirror image of the grain itself, but it's not only for the mirror image on a guitar. When we put it together at the top, we're voicing the top, and as you're cutting into the top, your grain changes ever so slightly in every piece of wood that's cut. And then once we put it together in two halves, then we tap on it, and you can hear that tone. One side's a little brighter than the other, creating a basic treble for the wood itself. So that's how we've done with the top first. And that's what makes our guitar different from anything else out in the world, because everything today is so mass-produced that they don't listen to those tones. So whatever comes out of the mill, that's what you're going to get. Here you get a custom guitar that's properly voiced. You know, so then once we're finished with that, then we'll come up with different ideas, different rosettes. The rosettes are this part of the instrument. This is a traditional that my father designed also in 1963, so it became one of our trademarks. It's got some floral, it's got abalone. It's all custom made. It'll have a cutaway on it. And it's a steel string guitar, and it's voiced the same way. And then we get a lot of people that want custom ideas. So like this skull. It's Dia de los Muertos, and all this is all custom inlay work. The teeth are actually real bone. The turquoise, real turquoise from the stone, and then Brazilian rosewood for the flower, and then we have some coral. All those ebony lines are all inlaid all the way through with ebony, and you can see from the underside that all the way through. We cut it with jeweler sauce and then inlay the ebony. So there's no etching, so you don't have to get an artist to come back in and redraw everything. It's there forever if you have to ever refinish the guitar. Once we do that, then we'll take the bracing inside, which my father always taught us about innovation. We're always trying to make our guitars better and better sounding, better looks, different ideas, different shapes. So we innovate all the time. So this is one of our newer brace patterns we came out with. The honeycomb bracing is a beautiful brace that's very powerful. It's very piercing tone. So it's louder than most brace that are used in the guitar. It's also all there's some new canals underneath the bracing to give it a lot more sustain of the instrument. So it's very, very powerful brace. This is actually a bluegrass guitar. It's a dreadnought. It's built for it's going to be built for a bluegrass player by the name of Ben Perea. They're with a Water Mountain Jug Band, so they wanted something that's very loud. Here's the back on this instrument, and it's called burl wood, and it's the only wood that's called the wood from the tree because it's very rare. There's nothing in the world as beautiful as this. It's Honduras mahogany burl. And this will go on the back of the guitar like this. And you can see the bracing inside to hold the back together. And that should last for generations to come. This is the herringbone, we call it herringbone. And it's pieces of maple and ebony put together. And then with strips of ebony and maples running down the sides of the center of the herringbone. And then that'll be placed on the back like this to hold everything in place. And then once it's finished, then we'll rot it out and it'll become a beautiful, beautiful look. Sand it out, and once we put the finish on it, and it's going to be gorgeous, gorgeous wood. And so then we have just a very simple rosette with real turquoise. And actually the turquoise stone in the world that cannot be cut on a CNC machine because it'll shatter, and it can only be cut by hand and inlaid by hand. So we're lucky that we're the only ones in the world that can use it.
The turquoise.
And it's very New Mexico. This is a custom electric guitar that we built for, it's not a guitar, it's a bass guitar, and it's for Celtic music. It's called mandolin bass, and that's what it looks like. This is their own shape. Sort of a violin style.
It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful instrument. So we're just going to put the frets on. The inlay work here is the coyote with a sun. It's all custom inlay out of that mother of pearl and gold mother of pearl. So we built custom guitars for any. And here's one of our Dreamcatcher models with a double cutaway of sort of a acoustic electric. And it's going to be a really gorgeous, gorgeous instrument. The Dreamcatcher is actually not to catch your bad dreams on a guitar, but actually to catch your bad notes. And we come in here and you can meet Robert, and he can explain to you about all this classical guitar. But beforehand, let me show you this one here. This is a beautiful tenor guitar that was just finishing up. All this is all turquoise around the edging. And he wanted the whole piece, and all this is whole piece with mother of pearl and ebonies. A little bit of turquoise here. He wanted the feathers hanging down. The feathers are actually bone with ebony, and all these little strips inlaid into it is ebony with holly. So everything that you see on it is inlay on inlay on inlay. And then the New Mexico Zia with a hoop in the center. And then it's got ebony for the back and sides. It's got turquoise around the edging. It's got a small feather at the heel cap with mother of pearl and black mother of pearl. And then it's got a little bit of inlay on the back. tenor guitar, left-handed tenor. And this is Robert. You may speak.
I'm Robert Pimentel, and I'm making classical guitars, requintos, flamencos, and a few other types of instruments, the jazz fusions. And right now what I got here on the making is a requinto for a person in California who ordered the star. The star is made out of shell with a abalone shell and mother of pearl, and then it's got black inlays in it, and it's got the rings on it, so it's really, really pretty. It's going to have a cutaway with electronics on it, and it's a concert Rosewood model. So this is the requinto that I'm making. It's a smaller body, but it's also tuned a quarter of an octave higher, so it's going to be, instead of an E, it's going to be an A, and then it's a higher pitch instrument. So they play all the lead work on that one, and then the guitars do the rhythm, and then the three singers sing to the three basses. So this one here is the Jazz Fusion. This is custom made for a young lady who is studying here with my brother Hector. And this is a dream catcher. And then it's got the Rosette that's completely handmade also with shell rings. And this one is the little church that goes all the way around, and it's got little crosses on it. These two are chili peppers, but they're wrapped with shell. And it's got to have a cutaway with a thin body, electronic system on it, and it's also going to be custom woods on it. Again, it's made for a girl that's going to be performing with this one. This has a different kind of brace patterns. We're going to put two cross bracings here, and then more fan bracings to make the sound a little bit enhanced on that. And the chili peppers make it in Mexico, I would say, and so does the Dreamcatcher. So this is another guitar that's being made for my brother Gustavo, who's going to perform with this. It's not finished yet. I'm doing the top, putting colors on it, and then I'll put the lacquer on it, even though Rick made this one. This is a classical guitar made for my other brother, Hector, and this is going to be, again, with the shells and the little church rosette, and it's got rosewood back and sides. This is the rosewood that comes from Brazil. It is Brazilian rosewood, and it's been here for many, many years, so it's not something we can buy fresh, because Brazilian rosewood is an endangered species, so we don't go to Brazil and buy any kinds of woods. This one has an ebony cap, and it's got a Central American neck on it with a three-piece neck on it. And the front of it is ebony, which comes from Africa, and that's for the fingerboard. And then the Pimentel on the headstock, and it'll have other inlays and beautiful gears. And then the bridge will also have some kind of inlays on it. And again, this is an electric guitar because it's actually classical, but it's also electric, because Hector is going to perform with this at Casa de Benavides and different places that he performs with. So he always uses the electronic systems on it. So this is an electric cutaway, kind of a jazz guitar. Now here I have another different kind of guitar. This one is a Jazz Fusion, and this is made out of spruce top for the top, and it's got the Thunderbird with the New Mexico Zia and the Pueblos going around it. Makes it all New Mexico. Chili peppers for the sound hole, wrapped with shell. And the edging is going to be all wrapped with shell also, but I haven't cut the shell yet, so I'm still in the process of doing that. And this is a cutaway, and it's got a different kind of cutaway. It's not so sharp, but this one, the customer ordered it this way. Ken Miller likes his cutaways to be a little bit different, so it's a little bit flatter. The back and sides are real pretty. This is the ebony, which is a real pretty wood. It's got some inlays on it. It'll have inlays on the tailpiece as well. I haven't done it yet, but it'll be there. The sides are also 3.5 inches wide instead of 4 or 4 1/8. This is a little bit thinner because this is more of a jazz guitar. Okay, again, it's going to have a ebony fingerboard with an extension on it. It'll also have the Pimentel on the headstock with ebony, and it'll have a real fancy bridge on it. So it'll look different when it's all finished. And again, the finish will be lacquer finish, and it'll be hand rubbed out. Okay. If you've never seen a Rosette being made, the Rosettes are always made with hundreds of pieces of wood, dyed different colors, and then cut and glued together. So the first step is to get the design on paper, and then do the colors on paper, and then you start doing the woods. The woods have to be the same dies as the ones that we designed. So, for example, we have green ones, we have red ones, we have different shapes and different things for rosettes. So this one is the red one that's in here. So this is the way it's done. It's first of all, it's done in sandwiches like this. We glue 9 pieces of wood. They're all different colors inside, and they're numbered. This will be number 4, this will be number 13, and so on. You know, it's just different numbers. So what we do with this ones, once they're glued together, we cut little strips out of them and start putting the rosettes together. So the rosettes will be cut into strips like what you see here. So this is all a bunch of little strips that are already cut and sliced, and then we stack them up from 1 to 14, and then we start gluing them one at a time to produce this rosette here. So when you're gluing the sticks, you're actually gluing them like this, and then you scrape one edge to make it turn. So this is what you're looking at. Okay, once the rosette is finished, then what we do is we cut it into little strips, and then that'll be the first piece that goes into the top. So some of the rosettes, if you look at it like this is what it looks like with just a center piece in there. But it'll all be different, so every rosette we try to make it different colors to it. Okay, so this is the rosette. Once it's complete, then we cut out the sound hole, and the person that ordered the guitar will get a coaster like this with his name on it, saying this came from your guitar. Okay, so once that's done, then of course we start making the guitar and putting it all together. So we have several different kinds of guitars. We have a bird's eye maple that we're making here. Bird's eye maple is real pretty woods. It looks like this. And that'll be a full classical guitar. And then we have tops that are also, that look like this. This is a cedar top, but it's a wild grain cedar. And this is going to be for another jazz fusion made for Corey. We also have another back that's called the cypress that comes from Spain. And this is for flamenco guitars. And it's very light in weight. And it looks like this. Okay, and then we have the other one. It's called the East Indian rosewood, which looks like this. It's a very pretty wood as well. It's not sanded yet or anything, but it looks colorful. It's got darker spots and lighter ones. But this is the East Indian rosewood. It also comes in real dark colors or real brown colors. There's always a different shade on it, or really dark red or purple. Okay, the necks, I'll just explain one more thing. It's about the necks. The necks are 3 pieces of wood. The heel, the long part is the neck, and then the headstock glued to the neck. There's 3 pieces of wood, makes it much stronger when you're playing the instrument, or if you drop it, or it won't break as easily if it was 1 piece. Because we don't use machines to make these necks, we make them all by hand, we glue them together, and then we use files and chisels to shape it all out and make a neck to the custom of the hand of this person who ordered it. So it'll be shaped out just to fit him. Thing is the size, of course. If it's going to be the size that are the same color as the woods, the back and sides will be the same as the instrument that we're making. So there's always 2 pieces of wood for every guitar that we make. So this is the pattern. This is the book match for this particular guitar, and the back is also book match, and the tops are always book match. So there's 2 pieces to the top, 2 pieces to the back, 2 pieces for the sides, 3 pieces for the neck, fingerboard, bridge, and you got yourself a guitar.
Amazing guitar.
Thank you so much.
This goes wrapped around the rosette and inlaid into the wood. Then we have that ring done. Then we'll do the inside ring. We'll flip this over so we can have the same design on the other side. Once it dries, we'll sand it, and then it'll come out with something like that with different colors. But that's the way the rosettes are done. This is the beginning stage of building guitars. So I'm right now starting on 6 guitars, well, 3 guitars, 2 mandolins, and 1 ukulele, which is this custom-made ukulele. It's made with, it's going to have back and sides that are koa, which is actually the traditional wood for ukulele, which came from Hawaii.
Nice.
Most of the time they are custom ordered, you know, and they're made for the customer, what the customer might want on their or her guitar, or ukulele, or mandolin, or any other instrument that we make.
Wonderful.